Well, hello there. We are so excited today. We've got a tremendous program to talk about cash flow confidence. And this is such an important topic. We're so grateful to you to be here for our program and also watching our program live. I just get this great privilege to introduce Vicki Holman in just a moment. But before we do, I just want to do a quick recap of our program in the Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. I'm so delighted to be the founder of our council, our C-suite network, Women's Coaching and Consulting Council. We work with trusted advisors, consultants, experts, and thought leaders on how to build your business, but also build your life too. So we're so excited about this. And I'm Kathleen Caldwell. I'm an author, speaker, coach, consultant. My goodness, I've been a coach since 1998, although I think I was a coach when I was born. That's right. My mother would say I was coaching her all along the way. So anyway, it's my delight to be able to bring to you on behalf of our council, we get to showcase the best of the best. And so I can't wait to tell you more about Vicki, our speaker, in a moment. But last month's programs, we always have got the best of the best programs with the greatest speakers. And our last program was fantastic because we decided to have some fun for ourselves and not let the kids have all of the fun and go back to remembering how fun it was to be at summer camp. And so we had a summer camp fire circle. Oh, it was terrific. We talked about what we remember as a kid, remembering all the power and possibility that we had, that spark within us. And we recreated it. It was awesome. So much fun talking about the lasting impact of summer camp. And we had just such a great discussion about how to pull in your tribe of women, your girlfriends, all the fun we used to have running around, being on bikes, doing things at the water. Certainly we discussed how great s'mores were. So we went in and talked about the great food at camp. And we just had an opportunity to talk about how fun it was and how we could bring more of that fun into our life. And then before that program, again, we had a great program with Carol Kammerer. She talked about how to elevate your brand, specifically by using LinkedIn. Carol is a LinkedIn expert. She is the best of the best. She's written a book on LinkedIn and how to elevate your presence. And so watch that program. It was super. It's on our YouTube channel. And we're just so excited to bring you the best ideas, the best actionable next steps so you can be the coach, consultant, trusted advisor, and thought leader that you deserve to be. So with that, today's program is all about cash flow. And we have heard the term cash is king, but I also think it's king and queen. And so this is something that most coaches are not really taught. We're not taught in coaching school about cash flow. And so therefore we realize we need to bring the expert in to talk to us about cash flow, because without cash flow, we don't have a busy, thriving, healthy business. We're probably working too hard, chasing after cash. And so we're going to learn more today about how to have the cash flow confidence and keep the cash moving in our business. And so I love this quote from Zig Ziglar. It's really important because, we can't hit a target that we don't have, and we can't, if we can't see it, and if we don't have a target that we are not reinforcing, and that target could be and should be a cash flow target. And this doesn't mean that we're 100% focused only on the cash. It means that we are running a business at the end of the day, and we've got to have targets, goals, things that we're looking at, because in order to be a great coach and have a coach that you're exhibiting all these beautiful, beautiful attributes, you are an amazing person. You stand for and contribute to your clients and their success. But it's hard to do all these things in the world if we don't have the cash flowing in our business. And I know at many times in my business in the past, I was focused mostly on coaching. I wasn't really focusing in on the business part of my business, my practice, my coaching, my coaching industry, so to speak. And so today we're going to learn more about why it's so important and how to have that confidence, because we want you to be the best coach and consultant you can be. And you've got to have confidence around the financials in order to do it. And of course, as I get ready to turn our program over to Vicki, we do this topic, we're bringing this topic to you with a lot of love, but we've got to be speaking the truth to power here, sisters. We've got to do it because oftentimes I find that cash, financials, numbers are something that many coaches and consultants shy away from. And so we're not going to like get in your face and present a lot of spreadsheets to begin with, but coming to you with a sense of love and gratitude and a sense of, hey, you deserve to know what's going on in your business, and just putting your head in the sand is not a solution. Okay. So we're going to bring truth to you, but we're going to also put it in heart-centered. Yes. So I get this great privilege to turn over our program officially to Vicki Holman. Vicki is one of the most smartest, caring, sharpest coaches I have ever met. From the first moment that I met Vicki, her confidence, her experience, her knowledge, her commitment to helping people have cash flow confidence, to know like the ocean, what's coming in and what's coming out, like the tide, let's get in sync with Mother Nature, the circadian rhythms, and what's happening in the world with our cash. And formally to let you know that Vicki Holman is a trusted advisor, and she's an expert in empowering women to master their business finances with confidence. She has a passion for helping entrepreneurs at every stage of their business, and she's committed to creating customized cash flow management systems for entrepreneurs, for business owners, coaches, and consultants just like you. And I'm so impressed that Vicki is a certified life coach. She also has this beautiful blend of being an office manager and a financial fiscal officer in businesses, specifically with her husband's business. So she knows firsthand, she's got on the ground experience on what it takes to make sure that the cash is managed within a business. And so I'm sure, Vicki, your stories, you could tell us forever on the highs and the lows and what not to do, but also what to do when it comes to cash. So with that, I'd like to turn over the program to our guest speaker, our newest esteemed faculty member, Vicki Holman. Please, passing it over to you, Vicki. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very nice. Good.
All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. I am so grateful and honored to be here, and thank you for giving me this opportunity, because just like you said, cash flow confidence is so important. It is, I would say, the most underrated part of a business. We don't talk about the cash flow, and it really is the cash flow that will make or break a business. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, and I'm going to go over my 3-step process, which includes mindset, a cash flow plan, and a revenue plan. And then if you stick around long enough, I will give you my freebie, which is a cash flow confidence workbook, and then I'll open it up for questions. So this is me. This is 2 of my 3 kids. And this was just taken this last January. I am all about relationships. I think businesses, friendships, family are made or broken with relationships. And I'm all about adventure. I love trying new things. I love skiing. I love snorkeling. I'm going to get dive certified hopefully soon. And I love business. I love numbers. I guess I want to say I'm a total money nerd. I love talking about numbers in business and seeing how all of it works together. So this is a little bit more about me. I want to tell you this picture taken on the right was a life-changing moment in my life, but I'm going to reverse the time a little bit there. 6 months prior to this picture taking, I really had a pivotal moment happen in my life. As I was going into my accountant's office, it was a cold and windy November afternoon in 2020. And as I stepped into her office, I immediately sensed that there was something wrong. I looked at her body language and her hesitation to speak to me, and I knew that there was something wrong. And so I sat down and I got this pit in my stomach. And as the longer she took, the bigger the pit became. And as she took a deep breath and said, well, the good news is you had a great year. often when you hear if the good news is, there is bad news to follow. So I said, yes, we had a great year in 2020. What's the bad news? She then proceeded to give me an estimate of my tax bill that would be coming due in a short 6 months. And when she told me the estimate of my tax bill, I genuinely wanted to cry. I literally just about burst into tears. I held it back, but it was at that moment that I had to say, where did all that money go? She's talking about this huge net income, but I had no money. I had saved a little bit of money, but I had paid off bills. I had paid off loans. I had done what I thought I was supposed to do when you have a cash windfall. So why was I feeling this way? I knew that I didn't have the cash available. So it was at that very moment that I knew I had to come up with a more effective way to manage our cash, that relying on my bank balance accounting and my finance degree was no longer enough to get me where I wanted to go and really gain control over our cash flow. So at that point, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I had to find a permanent cash flow management system that would help me get the things I wanted in life, meet my goals, but then to never have to feel that feeling of dread again. And so I share this story because it's oftentimes like this, where it's a challenging situation that we're compelled to seek solutions. And it's within these circumstances that a lot of times the best solutions are often created. So fast forward 6 months to this picture. This is 6 months later. We are at the title company. We had just finished signing over our dental office. We had just sold our dental office. If you look closely at my face, you can see that I had been crying. I did have a big smile on my face though, because it was such a needed step to move forward in our lives. The good news is I had found a cash flow management system, and I was able to pay off the IRS with cash flow and not having to take out any type of loan or an extension or anything like that. So this was a truly joyous time in my life, a truly pivotal moment. Now, the picture on the left, I had no idea when I was signing in that title office what 2 years later would bring. The picture on the left was taken earlier this week in Saipan. We just moved to Saipan and living the life of my dreams that I had no idea was even possible. So just know that anything is possible. So now let's talk about money. I love talking about money. I want to normalize the conversation around money. So often we give money almost like its own personality, like it's bad or it's good. It's not good or bad. Money is neutral. It is simply a resource that we can use to make our lives better or to make our lives worse. It's really up to us. And so the first thing that I do when I'm talking to clients about cash flow plans is talking about mindset, because mindset is so important because of the values that we have assigned to money. I love the quote by Henry Ford that says, whether you think you can or can't, you're right. Mindset is so key. So I have 3 mindset practices that I want to discuss really briefly. And the first one is always diving into your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Whether it's for your business or for in your personal life, what is your motivation? What's the reason behind that? And really dig deep, because a lot of times the why will carry us through the difficult times. Another mindset practice is the daily mindset practices. It could be things like doing a thought download or a gratitude journal or a visualization, meditation, breathing exercises. There is a lot of things that you can do, but just make sure that you're doing something to help your mindset every single day, especially as a business owner. And when you're getting ready to talk money and cash, it's really important to make sure that you are taking care of your mind. Finally, I want to talk about confidence and self-confidence. I want to dive into this one just a little bit deeper. This is the cash flow confidence class. And so it's really important to me to talk about the difference between confidence and self-confidence. So confidence, according to one definition, is the feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. It looks to your past to find evidence that you're capable of doing certain things. It looks to what you've accomplished and what you've done, other experiences that you've had. In contrast, self-confidence looks to your future. I call it the figure out factor or the figure out ability. It's trusting yourself to figure it out, that you can follow through on your commitments, that you have capabilities and values that you know that you won't quit. It's your ability to follow through and do the things that you know that you can do. So many times as we are trying something new or embarking on a new journey or implementing a new cash flow system or moving to Saipan, we want to have confidence that we can do something, but you can't have confidence if you've never done it before. So I love Dan Sullivan's 4 C's book talking about the steps of doing something new. So first you have to have courage, and then you have commitment, then you get confidence and capability. The confidence and capability doesn't come until you already have the courage and the commitment. You've got to tap into that courage and commitment, or I like to say self-confidence. You have the commitment to do the things that you are wanting to do to move forward. So as we're talking about confidence and self-confidence, I want to ask, what is holding you back? A lot of times when you are getting ready to embark on a new journey, it's actually the fear of a feeling that you are trying to avoid, whether you don't want to feel fear or shame or embarrassment or failure. That's holding you back is actually a feeling you're trying to avoid. So if the worst thing that can happen is a feeling, and a feeling is just a vibration in your body, it starts in your brain and moves out through your body. If it's just a vibration, that is eventually going to go away. Why don't we do more things? Why don't we try new things and be willing to feel uncomfortable, be willing to feel those things? Because if not, the alternative is that you fail before you even start. You fail ahead of time. By not doing something, you're failing ahead of time. So in closing on the confidence versus self-confidence, both are necessary as you're starting something new. Just understanding where you're at. You might tap into confidence for certain things, and you might need to tap into the self-confidence for other things. It's just nice to know. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just nice to notice which one it is that you're tapping into at the given moment, and being okay with it and recognizing it. So how do you get confidence in cash flow? You have to create evidence that it works. And how do you do that? You still have to have the courage and the commitment, the self-confidence to try something new. So as we move forward, we are going to start talking about the cash flow plan. I am not a certified financial planner. I'm not a financial advisor. I am not a CPA. I am not also a Profit First professional, although I have worked with multiple Profit First professionals and even a master level Profit First professional. So I understand that system very well. What I am is a certified life coach and a business owner and an entrepreneur and owner of a multi-million-dollar business. And so I understand the ins and the outs and actually the boots on the ground part of the cash flow planning. So let's talk about a cash flow plan. What is it? It is a roadmap for success. It's knowing what you have coming in and then creating an intentional spending plan. So it's being aware of where you currently are, and then deciding where you want to go, where you want to move forward, and then seeing what you have and then adapting. It's an allocation plan or a budget is what it is. And so Parkinson's law fits in with this. In the book Profit First by Mike Michalowicz, he talks about Parkinson's law. And Parkinson was a man who said that the demand for something expands to match its supply. In other words, you use what's available. Let me give you an example of this. So think back to your college days or high school or even in your business the last time you had a deadline. If you had to write a paper and you were given 2 weeks to write that paper, You take the 2 weeks to write the paper. Maybe you do a little bit here, you set aside a block of time that you're going to work on it. You're thinking about it throughout the day. You go work on a little bit more, then you do edits, but you take the full time that's available to you. On the flip side, if you're a procrastinator and you wait until you have the night before to get the paper done, you get the paper done in the night before. You might not have as many revisions, you might not have as much thought going into it, but you still get it done in the time that's allotted to you. Now, another example of this is a buffet or the plate. I call it the plates method. So if you have a large plate at a buffet, you fill up that large plate. If you're in a tapas restaurant and they give you small plates, you have smaller portions. So you take and use what is available to you. It's the same thing with cash flow. It's the same thing with cash flow management. We're going to start using smaller plates to get us to where we want to go. So the first step in creating a cash flow plan is seeing where you're at currently. So if you don't have one already, you can do this. And if not, it's really good to revisit if you've already have a cash flow plan in place. So how do you do this? You write down your current spending. You figure out how you want to live now, how you want to live in the future, and make the necessary adjustments. As you go through each of these processes, as you look at each expense, I want you to label it either essential, optional, or long-term or future. And then say, okay, this is what I need that's essential. And then the third step is to ask yourself, what do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? And what do I need to keep doing? And then just play around with those numbers and just see where you're at. Just like Kathleen said, you cannot have a target you cannot see. I love that quote. In fact, I use it later in this presentation. It's one of my favorite quotes. And you now have a target. You now see what your numbers are to live the life of your dream. Now, the third or fourth, the last step, wherever I'm at, is taking from your optional list. I want you, if you're just have enough income to meet your essentials, look at your optional list. I want you to pick 2 or 3 things from that optional list and move it to the essentials. This helps us get over the scarcity mindset. It could just be, instead of just eating rice and beans, you could have a meal out one night a month, or you could have, that latte that you really love. To help you get over the scarcity mindset, you need to shift at least 2 or 3 items from your optional into your essential so that you can start living the life of your dreams. Next, you're going to do the same thing for your business allocations, the exact same process. Write down your current spending. How do you want to run your business now? And how do you want to run your business in the future? And then make the necessary adjustments. So again, you're going to label everything essential, optional, and long-term. And what are some things that maybe as a business owner, we often like to bootstrap, and some people actually wear that as a badge, like, oh, I bootstrap my business. But what are some things, maybe small things that you could add to your business that will help your business now? So something like spending money on a thank you gift for a client, or showing appreciation for your employees, or something like that, that maybe you would have a tendency to say, ooh, I don't want to spend on that, but it will help, again, shift that mindset. And this is how I want to run my business now. This is how I want to treat people. So it's really important as you're doing these exercises that you don't judge yourself, that you don't have any judgment that you're doing it wrong, or maybe you're doing it right. That's okay. But if you have a feeling of, I'm too late at this, I should have done this from the beginning, or something like that, don't judge. Right now, we're just gaining awareness so that we can create the targets that are real and in front of us. So speaking of targets, we're talking about the revenue target next. And this is really where you have to have a target that you cannot, you have to have a target so you can hit it. And so often when I ask my clients, what's your revenue target, or how much money do you want to make? They say, as much as possible. Okay, that's all fine and great. But if you have an actual target that you cannot see, it just hits different. I'll explain it and show you an example here in just a minute. So here's my alert. As Kathleen said, we try to avoid spreadsheets, and I've gone I'm about halfway through this presentation without a spreadsheet in sight. The spreadsheets are coming. So just be aware. I'm going to try to simplify them and make them as easy as possible. But I told you at the beginning, I'm a total nerd. I'm a money nerd. I love spreadsheets. And so I'll try to calm the spreadsheets down. So just be aware. Here we go. Okay, so the revenue target is really important in your business. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the numbers that we just calculated in our allocations and put them into a calculator. So there's 4 parts of the calculator that you need to have intentional. Now, typically, the typical formula is revenue minus expenses equals profit. We're going to flip that on its head. We want to pay ourselves first. So we're going to have intentional profit. So think of those plates. We're going to make the profit a small plate. We're going to do revenue minus profit equals how much we have available for expenses. And so we have a small plate of profit. Next, we're going to break down our expenses plates even more. So we want to have a plate for taxes. We want to have a plate for owner's pay and operating expenses. Now this owner's pay, okay, so let's go back. The taxes amount is the amount that a number that you get from your CPA. It is not your effective tax rate. Let me repeat, it is not your effective tax rate. That is something different. This is a top line revenue number that you would ask your CPA how much it would be. Now the owner's pay, that is the amount of your personal allocations. That's how much money you need to take out of your business and put it into your personal funds to where you can live the life that you want to live. Now, the operating expenses, those are the bill that comes from the business allocations. That's where the business allocations come in. And again, you want to run this multiple ways. You want to run it with essential, optional, and long-term included in different scenarios. So I am going to give you 3 different examples, and I will walk you through how just changing some of the numbers changes your revenue target. So in this example, if you have 5% profit, 20% for taxes, $5,000 for owner's pay, and $3,000 for operating expenses, your monthly revenue target is $10,666.67. That's an actual target that you have calculated that if you get that much money every month, you will be able to live the life that you want to create. So let's play with this just a little bit. So if we change the taxes percentage to 15% instead of 20%, you'll see our monthly revenue target goes down to $10,000. And then in example number 3, if you increase your owner's pay by $3,000, so instead of taking home $5,000 a month, you're taking $8,000 a month, it's really interesting and important to notice that your revenue target doesn't just go up by the $3,000 that you increased. It actually goes up $4,000 because you have to increase your profit and increase your taxes also if you're taking home more money to be able to take home that amount. So you can see now the revenue target is $14,666.67. So what does this mean? This is all great and good. This means if we have 5% for intentional profit, 20% for taxes, $8,000 for owner's pay, $3,000 for operating expenses. We have a revenue target of $14,666.67. But what that breaks down to is what's called our current allocation percentages. This is how we're going to divide up the money as it comes into your business. We're going to divide it before it even hits our plates into the smaller plates. We're going to have 5% for profit, 20% for taxes, 54.55% for owner's pay, and 20.45% for operating expenses. Okay, so moving forward, we have our current allocations. We also want our target allocations. Maybe we like those numbers, maybe we don't. That's what's really important, is to understand where you're at and if you like where you're at or if you want to go somewhere else. So let me go through this a little bit. So again, our current allocations are percentages. Target allocation percentages. Now these are listed in the book Profit First by Mike McAllowitz. And you can see it's based on your revenue for your business, and he gives a recommended percentage for each of the items in the book. Now, these may not apply to you. And that's why it's really important to understand what your target allocations are, because his book was actually written for brick and mortar stores. And a lot of us are coaches or consultants, or we work from home. We don't have the same expenses that a brick and mortar store has. And we don't have the same financial statements. A lot of those the profit first system is based on 5 to 10 years of financial statements. A lot of coaches don't have that. So we have to see where you're at and then where you want to go so that we can create your target allocations. And it's just really interesting to note that there are multiple ways to do this. And let's just play around with the numbers a little bit, and let me show you what happens with the different percentages. So if you were to leave your monthly revenue target at $14,666.67 and change your percentages to your target allocations, that would be great, as long as you're okay with having a decrease in pay. So to get this with the same amount of revenue, you went from $8,000 a month in owner's pay to $5,133.33, which may be an option for you. It may not. That's why you have to create your unique system. On the flip side, if you wanted to keep your owner's pay at $8,000, your monthly revenue target has gone up. It is now $22,857.33 to get those target allocations. Now, again, you have a target. Once you have a target, your brain starts to think, how am I going to meet that target? Instead of just, I want to make as much money as possible. That anytime anything is overwhelmingly large, our brain doesn't really think it's possible to solve it. But if you give it specific numbers, specific ideas and details, all of a sudden your brain is starting to think, okay, how can I make this work? So it could be checking your pricing. It could be creating a new offer. There's a lot of different ways, but it's like, okay, now I have an actual target. What do I need to do to reach that target? And this is a side note, my target allocations, this is how I actually had enough money to pay the IRS. I changed my target allocations and shifted how I was spending for a short time, or decreased our owner's pay so that I would have enough money to pay our taxes. And it's such a powerful tool. And as I was doing it, I actually felt empowered, knowing that I was creating and working towards this goal, that I was not going to have to take out a loan or figure out an extension or contact the IRS and say I couldn't pay, but working towards every single month as I was looking at that balance of the money for taxes. It was just an empowering experience to say, okay, this is working. I was creating the evidence and the confidence that the system actually worked. Okay, so the next part of the cash flow plan, a lot of people stop there. They have a cash flow plan, they know what they're doing, and then they stop. But it's also really important to have a revenue plan, because as I said earlier, each business is different. What you're doing with your business and your goals may not be the same as your friend that you have on Zoom, or may not be the same as your sister or your coworker or something like that. So it's really important to define where you want to go with your business and how do you want to get there. Maybe you're getting ready to scale your business. Maybe you're getting ready to sell your business or leave your business. Your plan has to be your way. And that's where your uniqueness comes in, and you need to be able to tailor your cash flow and your revenue plans according to your desires and your wants. And you can do this by looking at different scenarios. So creating scenarios is also called models of forecasting. I had to put creating scenarios in there because my husband says, you need to dumb it down for me because I don't know what you're talking about when he says models of forecasting. So I'm going to just say it differently if I'm trying to explain it to him. We're going to create different scenarios to see what different expenses or different decisions or choices, what results those different scenarios will create. So as you're doing this, again, you can do it in a spreadsheet. There's also really great software out there that will help you do it. But it's really important to look at your finances and how the income or the revenue will change during those transitions, because transitions are expensive. They are the most expensive time in a business. And whether it's in a business or personally, any transition, and it could be financially expensive, it could be emotionally or physically expensive also. Just know transitions are expensive. And as you're looking at the different scenarios, you want to look to your past, your present, and your future. So on your past, you want to look at trends and things that worked and what didn't work, and the evidence that that created. And then present, everything is created in the present moment. So what does that mean? It just highlights the ability to create change and make decisions and experience life fully as it exists right now. Everything happens twice. First, you create it in your mind, and then you actually create it out in the universe. But the past has already occurred. There's nothing you can do about the past. You can't change the past. Although it does shape our current circumstances, we choose how we respond to those circumstances in the present moment. Similarly, the future is uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen. We can plan, we can prepare, we can do the best that we can, but we just have no control. So the only thing you can do is really control how you are in the present moment. So as you're looking at forecasting and planning, make sure you look to your future also. Step into that future. Visualize what it's going to look like when you leave your business, or visualize what it looks like when you're going to scale that business. How do you want that to look? But be very careful that you don't black out and plan. What that means when you black out and plan is that you don't stay mindful of your business's current state. So you need to be mindful of where you currently are and how you got there. Take care of your current customers as you're getting ready to transition, no matter what that looks like. And while you're taking care of your current business needs, then you can create a strategic plan for the future. And then, as always, what is your why? Why are you wanting to make this change? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? So you made it this far. I'm so proud of you. So because of that, I'm going to give you my cash flow confidence process and daily checklist. It's a workbook, and I absolutely love the way it turned out. So please feel free to scan the QR code, or you can go to my website, ebbandcashflow.com/confidence. And that will take you directly to the page where you just have to give me your name and address, or name and email address, and you'll get the workbook instantly. So we are ready for questions.
So Vicki, awesome. I took 3 pages of notes about this. Wow. And I would also say you really do exhibit cash flow confidence, when you're discussing this. And this is really, really terrific. So I'm curious, if a person was going to start, your coach and consultant, trusted advisor, thought leader, whether they're first starting out or they've been in business for a while, and what would you recommend would be like 3 things just to get started? We didn't prepare this in advance, but this already.
Sure.
3 small steps that they can start today doing. And of course, let me pause there and say, we want everyone who's watching the broadcast and part of our program today, to reach out to you and get your fabulous ebook, and then your checklist, really good, and to talk with you personally about this. But for folks that are watching, what could be 3 small steps?
So absolutely. And I go back to my 3-step process, but small steps. So make sure you have a mindset practice, because your mindset will trip you up every time. Even now, I still do my mindset practices every single day, because I know that my brain is going to be lying to me. We don't have to believe everything we think. And so many people believe their thoughts. And so make sure you have a mindset practice, then create a cash flow plan. Absolutely. If you have the time and you want to read the Profit First book by Mike McAllowitz. It's such an excellent book. I even have it right here. This is what it looks like. Profit First by Mike McAllowitz. And if you're just starting out, start with the target percentages. Let's start from the very beginning on limiting your expenses or creating an intentional cash flow plan.
Yes.
So often we tend to look at cash flow as a tracking mechanism and not an intention mechanism.
Great.
Your bookkeeper and your accountant, we love them, but their job is to help you file your taxes correctly and on time, not paying a penny more or a penny less than what you're owed. Often they only look at historical data. They don't look forward in their business. They're looking back, and sometimes you're looking 6-8 weeks behind. So if you want to make decisions in your business, you need to empower yourself with the knowledge of what cash flow is coming in, what you have going out, and what your revenue plan looks like in the future.
Really great. Yes. Fantastic. Because, as coaches, as I mentioned at the very beginning of our program, we weren't taught this, in business.
I know.
We weren't taught this. And so we're taught the core competencies of being a great coach, but the management of the cash is not something that we're taught. And so, it's a new competency that we need to learn, working with an expert like you to teach us on how to do this. Really, really important. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And just, from my own personal experience running the dental office, we had a lot of money coming in and out. I have a degree in finance. I love money, and I've been using, a tracking system or an allocation system for years, felt pretty good about myself. In fact, the bank even told me, wow, you can have any loan you want because we're really impressed with the way you manage your cash. But it still didn't work for me because I had to worry every single week. Do I have enough to cover payroll? Well, this insurance payment comes in on this day, payroll comes out the next day, we should be okay. Creating this cash flow management plan, once I put it into place, I was 2-3 payrolls ahead, and I created such peace in my life that I never could have imagined. I had no idea how much stress I was creating and thinking and holding in my body from the cash flow and having the mental energy tied up in knowing where my money is going.
So many great points, Vicki, really great, because, what I'm also hearing is, as coaches and consultants, how can we fully be present with our clients if we're concerned about the receivables, has this client paid on time? And, it's something that we can, should, and will have confidence in, is our cash flow, and being able to be the best coach we can be, and be able to handle the money too, handle the income, the flow and the ebb of the income. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. So thank you very, very much, Vicki. Oh my goodness. So again, would you just also mention your website again so people can get a hold of you? And of course, you're on LinkedIn, Vicki Holman. Yep. Very nice. Yeah.
Let me show one more slide. It's got that contact information just one more time in case you didn't catch it the first time.
Great.
So you can reach me at Ebb and Cashflow. The freebie is ebbandcashflow.com/confidence. And my LinkedIn, you can find me by Vicki Rich Holman. Rich is my maiden name. I've been thinking about money my whole life.
Isn't that perfect? It's all by divine destiny that you have done this. This is great. Very nice. Very, very good. Good. So round of applause, everyone, for Vicki Holman. We're so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm feeling more confident already just from our time with you. So thank you. Good.
Thank you.
So I'll finish up. We'll have just a couple more slides. And I think actually I got so tricky that I made you the host, and you now need to, would you make me the co-host?
Sure.
The next topic we're going to have is Zoom flow confidence, right? Presentation confidence. Yes. Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Great. So with that, just thank you very much, Vicki. This was tremendous. And, you know, this is a really important part of our business. And I cannot wait. You know, I can really see we're going to be doing more events with you. We're going to be featuring you more and more and more, because I think we can do some topics in here to kind of break down your system, because I know you have a system through this whole process. And can't wait to announce the new things that are coming for you and your business. So very, very nice. And so as we complete our time together, you know, we in our Women's Coaching and Consulting Council, featured by C-Suite Network, we're all about how do we get out of our comfort zone, because these are all topics that we've got to know to become the world-class coach we were destined to be. And so, you know, success happens right on the outside of that comfort zone. So we're inviting you, just take one step and do just one thing. I know from the broadcast, you found something in Vicki's presentation that appealed to you and is really enlivening you and curious. So just take one step, get in communication with Vicki, and just do one thing, because a positive step will move you in the direction of your dreams and your dream business. And, you know, as we complete, our whole goal with our council is to help you really have the freedom lifestyle that you deserve. And so, you know, wherever you're at, Vicki's modeling this right now. You're in Saipan, in a beautiful, beautiful, tropical, lovely, lovely place to live. But you, as the coach consultant, you're a trainer, you're an advisor, you can have this lifestyle too. And you can turn on the spigot of your cash flow. It's really, really important to know how to do that. And we get into those strategies as well. So what's next? Every Saturday, we have the Saturday Women's Success Circle, and we talk every week about a different topic. This upcoming week, we're on week 56, our consecutive 56th session. And we have a different topic about success, 27 minutes of vibrant, outstanding conversation. We don't record the calls because they're private and confidential, and we want to be in the moment. So come and join us. And we can't wait to have you meet your sisters from around the world at our topic. So that's our programs every Saturday. And then, of course, watch our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we're now up to, I think, about 95 individual videos. Folks, we've got a PhD program, no kidding, in coaching and consulting on our YouTube channel. Every kind of program that you would want, from today's cash flow confidence to how to enroll new clients, how to set up group programs, do VIP days, all the things you need to know and should know in one beautiful place. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And with that, thank you so much for our program today. Vicki, highlighting you. So appreciate you as our newest esteemed faculty member. We can't wait to show more of you. Folks, get in contact with Vicki Holman, learn more, and increase your cash flow confidence. Bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.